You've got it tuned to the Texas Standard. I'm Laura Rice. Texas children have it pretty made when it comes to finding representation of their state in kids' books. Publishers have long known that this state's unique pride and population size means it's worth the investment to put Texas at the center of the story. A new book takes that to new heights, telling not just a poem or one story about Texas, but checking off your to-do teaching list, covering everything from geography to ecology to shapes, numbers, and the ABCs, all with a lot of humor and some delightful illustrations. 7th or 8th generation Texan C.S. Jennings did all that. C.S., thank you so much for stopping by the Texas Standard Studios.
You're so welcome. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. And this is far from your first book. You've written and illustrated books for kids of all ages, including a series called Pet Shop Racers. Did you pick this book or pitch it, or were you commissioned for it?
I pitched this book. Yeah. I've had it in my heart to do for a really long time. I've been sketching cowboys and horses since I was a little kid. Yeah.
Had a lot you wanted to say, because I mentioned in the introduction that there are a ton of subjects, but there's a lot more. I mean, there's also dinosaurs. The inside back cover, there's like an explanation of typical farm or ranch gears. Did you have any shortage of ideas of things you wanted to talk about?
No shortage at all. In fact, we could do an even bigger book of Texas. Like it just... so many ideas. It's such a rich place, right? There's so many things to explore, not just the expected, the cowboy culture, ranch culture, Western mythology, but the literal ground that we walk on, filled with dinosaur bones and mammoths, and then the things that are still flying around us, the butterflies and the birds and the animals that are running through the grass and the trees. I was really interested in taking all of those things and putting them together in one piece because they're the things that I love about Texas. Its tagline is all that's great about the Lone Star State, and that's what I aim to share.
So what are there things that you left on the cutting room floor, or you thought there's just not room, or maybe it's not for this age range? I mean, what were some of the things you thought about that you're like, Maybe part 2 someday?
Well, it's really the thing that I got really excited about, the thing that I love. As a child, I spent so much of my time in Texas down on my hands and knees, watching the dung beetles roll their, ball of cow dung next to the cattle barn and messing. And then the smell of, there was this other beetle in West Texas, you pick him up and he smelled like soap. And it was, but not in a good way, which is
a stinky soap bug.
A stinky soap. So for me, I think I would lean harder into the natural side of Texas. We've got a whole spread that talks about the animals of Texas. And then for the age group, because this is a picture book, it's aimed at people who are preschool, early elementary. On that page, we have the animals, but we also have who's soft, who's spiky, who's slimy, who's wet. So the spread is filled with creatures in their kind of little boxes, smiling and being cute. But yeah, I think that's the one thing that I would just super lean into. I'm like, here's what an oak tree looks like, and here's what blue stem grass looks like, and here's the 4 types of salamanders. So
you could have just gone on and on and on.
On and on and on, because it really is. It's so just rich. And I was at a reading for another friend of mine. She does wonderful Texas coloring book that just came out. And in her reading at Book People, awesome local here in Austin, she shared that there is a state dinosaur. And people in the audience said, wait, what? There's a state dinosaur? And I didn't raise my hand. She knows. We're really good pals. So she knows I have this book too. I didn't raise my hand and say, yes, it's the Plexisaurus jonesii. I say jonesii. It turns out it's Jonesy. I learned out how to say it
like the cat
before. Yeah, like Jonesy, the cat. Yes. That would have been a really different movie. Wouldn't it? A brontosaurus running down the halls. So that was a thing. And also, kids love dinosaurs. And we have such a rich, so much. I keep saying such a rich. We do. This was this coastal plain that ran down to the ocean. So That's why you have dinosaur tracks up in Glen Rose, Texas, because that used to be the edge, the shore of an ocean. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff, like my bigger book of Texas would lean more into that. Yeah.
Well, my kids are a little older. They know their ABCs, but one of their favorite sections was the ABC section, where you get
Awesome.
to incorporate like a lot of those animals and a lot of silliness.
Yes.
So A is an armadillo astronaut above the Alamo. B is for bat in beautiful boots. I wonder which letters were most challenging or most fun when you figured it out.
Okay, so the most fun. So this first spread is what I pitched the book with.
Yeah.
So when you have an idea for a book, you put together a PDF, you illustrate just a handful of spreads. This was the very first one. I'll be honest, the ABCs is one of my favorite parts of this book. Don't tell the other parts. But C is for cow and catfish in a Cadillac car. Like, one of the things that really is part of what I do is humor. As an author, I have 3 parts of my mission, which is humor, heart, and healing. So I want you to open this and just have a great time, and have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I think the Cadillac, the hardest one was over here. R is for raccoon and rooster rocket over the river walk. So we've got a rocket with a rooster and a raccoon, and then a tiny drawing of the river walk. So the nice thing is I do work. My line a lot of times is outside of the computer, but then I'll bring it into a computer program so I can zoom in on it. And I was so glad that I could do that. So I could have the dancers down on the stage and then the Riverwalk boat rolling by. Yeah, that was the tough one. My God, I love this book is so much just me sharing the things that I adore about this state. So when I turn to the next page and it's S and it's a snake and a seagull sporting spurs at the state fair, and I have the giant
big text.
Big text leaning on one side, and that urchin, U is really hard. Because, like, what's a Texas? This is Texas animals and Texas places and Texas ideas. So we have U is for urchin uses her umbrella underwater. Well, an urchin, they don't really have the capability to hold an umbrella that I'm aware of.
Why not? I mean, there's a question mark there. You've drawn attention to
right, because it's such a ridiculous idea, and probably some kid somewhere is like, yeah, totally.
I mean, do raccoons really drive rockets? I think it's fine. You're okay.
Yeah. If they do, we don't know about it.
And
above the
quails
cloud layer.
don't probably eat queso or shouldn't.
Right, they shouldn't eat queso. It's true.
Yeah.
So those are excellent points. They really are.
You're fine. I think you're good. You know, I know you grew up in Abilene. You live in Austin. You've lived all over the state.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Texas roots go way back.
They do
7,
indeed.
maybe 8 generations.
Maybe 8 generations.
But what did you learn putting this book together?
Boy, each one of these spreads represents not only I get into kind of my heart, you know, and what did I learn? Well, I didn't know that we had a state dinosaur. If you don't know, we have a state everything. I'm sure you do doing your job.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that to me was news. On the ranch, there's this spread, Texas Ranch Life, and it's where I kind of take my inspiration from the Richard Scarry books that I loved as kids, you know, my big storybook or my big picture book. And here we've got all of the different things labeled. You know, we have a bunkhouse with somebody asleep in a bed and they're playing checkers at the table. I grew up, I'm going to say, ranch adjacent. I was around horses, but I didn't ride them very much. So some of the things happening on this page, and what I loved is I got to really just be super granular. So here's a book for little people, right? But at the same time, my joy is making the thing. And, you know, talk about what would be in this book, I would just be more granular and more detail. So it was so fun to, like, the hot walker. I didn't know about a hot walker, which is you put the horse on reins and you walk it and it goes around in a circle.
I've seen that. I didn't know that that's what that was called, though. Yeah.
See? Right.
Yeah.
We drive past these things all the time in Texas, and so now we know that's a hot walker.
Mm. Okay. I've already learned a new thing. Yeah. I'd love to talk a little more about your illustrations. Your cowpokes, your farriers, your astronauts, and your art car drivers. They're all animals. I mean, is that just more fun for you to draw and for kids to see, or does it allow you to explore diversity in a different way? What do you think?
It is 100% exploring diversity in a different way. This is a larger conversation that happens in children's literature about representation. It's so important for every child to see themselves in the work. Now, what I have done historically is used animals. Pet Shop Racers is animals. My picture book before this is Whoa Panda is animals. And it is because they are diverse. Any kid doesn't see themselves, right? Because that's part of the thing. I pick up a book, I don't see myself in it. You pick up an animal book, and it's not drawing a line. It's welcoming diversity. So, but at the same time, which is why I have the spread in this book, which is Texas is You. Mm-hmm. Where here it is the people who made Texas great. It was really important to me that my book, Big Book of Texas, is my Big Book of Texas. And it's, we have Cheryl Swoops in here, Barbara Jordan, who's one of my personal heroes, of course Beyonce and Selena, and then Rathna Kumar, who opened the first Indian dance school. So that was where most of this book, animals are just fun, and they're having a great time. They're not exclusionary. It's everybody. But then I wanted to be very specific about who the people are who made Texas what it is. And the truth is, this is one of the pages where we cut a bunch out. Because it was so full, it was starting to push like the age barrier of this book. And it's already a little higher than people who are learning their ABCs. But that's also, as you talked about in the very beginning, where teachers can use this as a tool, and where teachers can use this as a tool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the animals are fun, and I love them. And I don't draw them all the time. I have some projects coming up where it will be kids. But that really is, I think that's the inclusionary side of it, the seeing yourself. I want everybody to, this is our place. And it's really important to me that everybody has an identity that they can express. So that's a big part of what this book is.
Well, I wonder, would you read just a little bit? I mean, is there a spot that you like that's particularly fun for you to read?
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. There's so many things that are just lists. We already did the ABCs. Well, there's the dinosaurs and dinosaurs. See, there it is. So I grew up in West Texas, but my accent is buried a little bit, I think.
It comes out here and there.
It comes out here and here. Let's read. I think the most text is on the dinosaur page. So, dinosaurs and the prehistoric animals of Texas. Texas has always been big. Giant pterosaurs swooped through the skies. Massive mammoths wandered the plains. Dinosaurs left their footsteps for us to find. Dinosaurs. Fossils are the preserved remnants of animals and plants from a different geologic time. Ancient clams, bivalves, ancestors of starfish, blastoids, pointy-legged trilobites, spiral-shelled ammonites, and dinosaurs of all shapes and sizes. They can be found all over Texas. So, and my editor requested the brief overview of prehistoric animals where we show what a trilobite looks like. Oh, that's one thing I learned. I didn't know about blastoids. Brand
What
new.
a fun word to say.
Isn't that great?
Right?
So
It
yeah.
sounds like a space thing, but it's
It
actually an
does.
ancient
Watch out, the
thing.
blastoids are
That's
coming
right.
to Texas.
C.S. Jennings is the author of My Big Book of Texas, All That's Great About the Lone Star State. C.S., thank you again.
Oh, thank you, Laura. My absolute pleasure.